after.
In this video, I'm at Niagara Falls with my son. We go on the famous Maid of the Mist. And then afterwards, I've got my expert opinion on where to find the best buffalo wings in the world. On everybody's bucket list. It's kind of an experience to come here. And you really only need about a half a day to see everything. Back in the mid-1990s, I lived in this area for a couple of years. I've been back a few times since, but not recently. And so I was excited to bring my son and show him around. There's a lot of things to see in this region, but Niagara Falls is definitely one of the highlights. First thing you need to know before coming to Niagara Falls is plan to go to the Canadian side. 90% of the water that cascades over the falls does so on the Canadian side on what they call Horseshoe Falls. Not only that, there's not really any good views of Horseshoe Falls from the American side. So plan to come to Canada, bring a passport. Down below, you'll see a boat with hundreds of people on it navigating through the rapids, and immediately you'll think, how do I get on that? Turns out you have a choice. If you stay on the Canadian side, you can go on the Hornblower. We went across to the American side and went on the famous Maid of the Mist, where you take a little elevator down to the river and then put on these rain ponchos and board the boat. In case you're wondering, there's really not much difference between the Hornblower and the Maid of the Mist, other than the side of the river that they leave from. They both last about 20 to 30 minutes altogether, and they both cost about the same price. Just plan on it being crowded. You will be on the boat with hundreds of other people. That's especially true if you go during the peak summer months in July and August. First up, you're going to pass the American Falls. This is the smaller part of Niagara Falls on the American side, but it is still very impressive to see the water cascading over those rocks. And if there's sun shining, you're likely to see a rainbow. As you continue up the river and approach the Horseshoe Falls, which is the Canadian side of the falls, you get a sense of how big this waterfall really is and why this is absolutely a place that should be on your bucket list. The Niagara River itself is about the size of the Mississippi River above the confluence of the Ohio. And so if you've ever been to St. Louis and seen the Mississippi River there, the Niagara River is literally about the same size in terms of water volume. And imagine all of that cascading 170 feet down. It is enormous, it's loud, and the mist will get you soaked.
Here, D, turn around real quick. Woo! We're misting.
There's no question you're going to get a little bit wet if you go on Maid of the Mist. I would definitely recommend the rain poncho that they provide to you. It keeps the core of your body dry, and so it's really not too bad. You get your hair, your face wet, but the mist is really fine, and there's kind of a big wind that blows through here as you're right near Horseshoe Falls. It's part of the fun. I really enjoyed it. On a hot summer day, it's going to feel really good to get a little bit wet. Even on a chilly fall day, like when we were here, it wasn't too bad. It was enjoyable, refreshing. And for those wondering, yes, of course, this is the spot where Jim and Pam got married.
Awesome.
After you get off the Maid of the Mist, head towards the falls and make sure to go up to the crow's nest. It's about a 10-minute walk. You've got to go up some stairs. Hang on to the rail. It does get very slippery, but it's worth it. It's probably as close as you're ever going to get to the cascade itself.
Getting a little wet, David.
make sure to keep your rain poncho on here as well. We got more wet here at the Crow's Nest than we did on Maid of the Mist, and you can see why. You walk back up to the American side and you realize why it's so worth being on Maid of the Mist and seeing up close. It's kind of anticlimactic seeing the falls from this angle. That said, you do get some beautiful sun in the afternoon view if the sun is shining, and it is still a very pretty sight. So now you've been to Niagara Falls, you've seen the sights, you've got your pictures. What's left to do in the area? Really make sure you head down to Buffalo to get some authentic buffalo wings. I have two recommendations for you. First, check out the Anchor Bar. This is where buffalo wings started. It's actually become a tourist destination, and it's usually crowded, but the wings are fantastic. They've got some great sauces, and you can always say, I've been to the place where buffalo wings were invented. Then, head over to Lenova's. Lenova's has what I consider to be the best flavor buffalo wings you're gonna find anywhere. In fact, their barbecue wings are just legendary. They're huge, they've got a rich barbecue charcoal flavor. And oh yeah, this place is known as one of the best pizzerias in America, so grab a slice or two of pizza as well. Not as famous as the Anchor Bar, but the flavor here is just amazing. I've been coming here since the mid-1990s and proud to recommend Lenova's to anyone, anywhere as the best buffalo wings in the world.